Good morning. Pardon the bumpy ride at the moment. I just figured I would get my trusty yoga block to put my camera on so you can see what I'm talking about when I talk about the road trip. So there we go. And here we are. All right, let me get myself situated, as I like to say. So good morning. Good morning. What do we have here? I'm good with that. I'm a wee bit cluttery right here. I've got some stuff I was working on. Rainy morning in the Berg. Oh, Becky, I'm so sorry. I will say, we've got sun here in the eastern part of the state, and I will delight in an extra for you. Okay? Leslie M., good morning. Good morning. So nice to see you, and thank you so much for buying your ticket to tomorrow's declutter party in advance. So I have something and someone to look forward to. Anybody else who wants to join the party, we're here. Jelly Bean, nice to see you. Spreading sunshine. It worked. You spread some sunshine. Now, I don't know how long it's going to last, but I'm going to enjoy every little minute of it. There we go. That's all right. You have to work today. Yeah, you know what? Shut the blinds. Keep your head down, and maybe this weekend will be better. I did hear, I don't know if this makes you feel better or it just makes you feel like there's more people who may have it worse. I subscribe to the Boston Globe, and I read the headlines and pretty much every morning. 14 weekends in a row it's been raining up in Massachusetts. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I would be taking a trip somewhere else at this point. But notice what makes you feel good. Does the weather make you feel good? Does the weather make you not feel so good? Yeah, can you even imagine? I cannot. I would be losing it. It was funny because now I understand why when I was sharing a photo of my niece who will be graduating college next week in New Hampshire, I shared a photo of her with my friends that I'm still in good contact with from high school. And my friend who lives in Massachusetts was like, I hope it doesn't rain. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, me too. And then I realized it's because she's getting so used to the rain. So yeah, here we are. It is a Friday. It is the first Friday in June of 2025. It is June 6th for those of you keeping score. And it is, what do I want to say? 8:03 a.m. in the Eastern. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. How's it going? Are you psyched about the weekend? You got any plans? Get any declutter plans? See, we can talk about regular plans like, oh, I'm going to go to a friend's house for lunch, or our friend's playing at this cider place, or we're going to go see a friend, things that I got going on. But I love the camaraderie, but I would so much rather, if there is something bugging you clutter-wise, if there's something you're stumped by or stuck with, here I am to help. Sure, I will chit-chat in the shallow end of the pool, and that is an important part of life. But I'm really here to help you and maybe give you what you need to help you declutter more easily, to learn how to do it. A couple of things going on, actually, that can help you do that too, is I did 2 different things this weekend. Well, one of them's not so different. We do have a decluttering party this weekend on Wednesday. It's not part of the weekend. Saturday, 8 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. to 9:30, so you can get some decluttering done and then go have fun on your precious Saturday. But then also, I decided, because I felt like it, to schedule some TikTok Live and a YouTube Live for Sunday. And this morning, I updated the schedule on the secret page. The schedule on the TV guide on the secret page has been updated, so you can look and know when the decluttering parties are and when the YouTube Lives and TikTok Lives are from today all the way through next Thursday. Okay. Hey, this is fun. Becky R. Working with a friend to empty a house for a client of his. Not my clutter and getting paid. Whoop. Whoop. Awesome. Awesome. So Becky, if there's anything anything I could do to make it easier for you, besides going in there with my own 2 hands, which I will not do, you let me know and I can help you with that. Okay. Um, oh, Windy Rose, no fun. No fun. Windy Rose, the laundry room flooded and I have to deal with everything all at once. I read to you guys the testimonial, I guess you would call it, that my friend, speaking of my friend who was telling me I hope it doesn't rain. Sorry. Um, this to me falls under the category, and trust me, none of that is fun. We had a flood in our basement a few months ago. The basement project is hopefully going to end today. Um, and I want to offer to you, when our basement flooded or there was a leak in it, I felt so good that we had decluttered beforehand. Now I know that doesn't give you any kind of solace, Windy Rose, when your laundry room flooded and I have to deal with everything all at once, right? Um, this is why I am here for you. Everybody, if there is not a clutter crisis in your house, if there is not a flood or whatever crisis, if you're not in crisis mode, that's when you should start to declutter. Start now before the crisis. My friend, as I mentioned, my friend from high school sent me this thing. She's like, I have a story I want you to share with your people. And the gist of it was, I had a number of years ago kind of helped walk them through the decluttering process. I actually forgot I did that, but I did. And so fast forward to this past weekend, and the sink in their 90 or 100-year-old house gave up the ghost. Now that was no fun, but because they had decluttered, they had a lot of empty shelves that they moved. It was easy to move, easy to get to the sink down the basement, then easy to fix the pipes. In contrast, her dad is pretty much a hoarder and not a neat person. His house is 90 years old. His sink also gave up. They can't even get to it. They are having a hard time getting to it, and they can't get to it to fix it. And the plumber is like, I can't even reach it. So there's so much more work in a crisis mode. So please, even if you are feeling like, but it is a crisis, and it's not really, like it's not like water is coming or fire, any of those things. If you're feeling like crisis mode, that's why we say use all the downs and practice calming down your physical and energetic body. So quieting down and slowing down and all that will help you with that. So I offer that to you, Windy Rose. It looks like you need to deal with everything all at once, but you can't. There's no way you can go in there and in one fell swoop pick up everything in that room and move it somewhere else. You'll have to deal with it a chunk at a time. You know what? Maybe think of how is this beneficial? This kind of sucks, but if you get everything out of the laundry room, then you have an opportunity to start with a clean slate when you go back in and put things in. Maybe it gives you the opportunity to wipe off the cabinets and stuff like that. I'm not saying this to, I was going to say look for the silver lining, but then my brain was offering it as look for the union label. But try to bring some good out of the bad. That is something I know I have done for pretty much almost the last 30 plus 40 years of my life. If something bad happens, what good can I pull out of it? And I love this. Becky is saying, so Becky is helping a friend with somebody else's stuff. She is noticing how easy it is to declutter somebody else's stuff when there's no emotional attachment, when there's no story to those items. When you are deaf to the stories that the items are trying to tell you, it is so much easier for you to go through them. Yeah. Oh, alrighty. Oh gosh, Anastasia is. Yeah. This is so funny. You guys, I'm cracking myself. I gotta just share. So I am used to doing. This is a behind the scenes, and this is my brain. So I'm laughing at me. So I want you to share with you. I am used to doing TikTok lives, and I do them on my phone. And I'm used to doing YouTube lives, and I do them on my computer. So I was trying to scroll the comments, but my hand was over here on the mouse for my computer, and I'm like, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? Because we're on my phone, silly. I have to use my hand for it. Here I go scrolling. Hey, this is cool. So Anastasia, same type of thing. Hurricane, flood, hurricane. unexpected guests. Don't wait for the crisis. Don't wait for the crisis. Also, the crisis can damage the stuff. That's kind of the thing when you're saving something because it's precious and good, and then you're not saving it in a good way or a good place, it might get damaged. Cat Mama did a good thing. Called the Goodwill, take old wall phones, 2 big bags of clothes to go today. Old fax to Staples and portable stuff to Best Buy. Awesome. Look at you. You are just on a roll. Cat Mama, I don't know kind of our clutter-iversary. I don't know when you started showing up in the comments on my YouTube lives or TikTok lives. I'd be curious about that because you just show up and you get stuff done. And I know you've struggled with this, cleaning out your mom's house and trying to find a good place for it and people judging you about what you kept and what you didn't. You're going through all the stuff and yet look at you. Look at you. And every single day, this is a thing I want to remind you all of. Every little bit helps. I'm using my extra big mug here because I have a busy morning. Every little bit helps. And you keep on showing up and doing every bit. And notice this. So I'm showing the decluttering the road trip above me. And notice I even made the road. The road is not one solid line. It is a bunch of little dotted lines. Every little chunk you do is behind you. And that means there's a finite amount of steps, of chunks, between where you are and where you want to be. There's a finite number. It doesn't go on forever. Every chunk you do is one less chunk ahead of you. Kind of like with your habit tracker. These are chunks. These are tiles. These are steps. And I love this. Anastasia is offering less unnecessary stuff. Makes you feel accomplished. Who doesn't want to feel accomplished? That's a nice feeling. Huh? And notice the word unnecessary. Now, unnecessary has a variety of meanings to people, but notice that she's determining what's necessary for me to live a life I love and what is unnecessary, what is not adding to a life I love, but getting in the way of it. Cat Roby is in the house. SBB clearing digital subscriptions in the cozy kitten bed. I love it. And you know what? Kat is doing too. I'm pointing out some of these specific things that you can try when you are decluttering. She's getting specific. Getting specific. She's getting specific. 144 in my decision sites. Yeah, so notice she has a pile of 144 digital subscriptions. She's going to be knocking down that pile. But this is what I do. I took some time doing that at one point, and then every day that I get an email that I do not want to be on, I do that a little bit at a time. I will scroll to the bottom and unsubscribe. So great. And I love you're doing it while you're having fun. Who doesn't want to be in a cozy kitty bed? Love it. Alrighty. Hey, Kara's Garden. Hit the wall. It may happen. It will happen. Overdid it yesterday and my back is complaining. Yes, as I've said, for some reason this week, ignore your body at your peril is my phrase. And sometimes you may not know that you're overdoing it until your body speaks up. And sometimes your body is quiet for a while and then it will speak up in the morning. Okay, so realize that and shift gears. You're probably not going to go back to the things that made your back hurt. What are some things I can do while my back is not, that will not aggravate my aching back? Oh, my aching back. Sold one thing yesterday and another thing today. Rock on, lady. And I love it. Cat Roby says, unsubscribe is my new favorite routine. It's decluttering your mailbox, your email box, even your regular box. We've talked about this before with regular mail that comes in the mailbox. Calling up and saying, please remove me from your mailing list, your postal marketing mailing list. There was something, direct mail. That's what somebody said, oh, you want to get off of our direct mail list? And I was like, oh, yeah. So I do that too, and I do it for my mother as well. Because the less crap that you have to decide upon, the easier it is. Now, Yay, yay, cat mama. So this is also one of those benefits, reminding yourself that even when you stumble on your journey, when you slow your roll because of an external thing, as cat mama says, yes, after niece's visit, um, it helped that you remind me that I've come so far, and it helped me get going again. It's like a road trip. You know, you're here in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm not you're here in Philly, and you want to drive to Palm Springs, California. If you get a flat tire I'm looking at my map that doesn't exist there anymore. I'm going to pick up a state. Let's say you're making good progress. You're in Pennsylvania, then you're on Ohio, Indiana. Oh, that's funny. One of my states doesn't have a name on it. That's wicked funny. It is Illinois. Let's say you're in Illinois and you hit get a flat tire. Are you going to stop completely? Or are you going to give up? You're going to be like, well, guess I'm not going to California. Guess I'm going to stay here in Illinois. No. Fix that flat tire. Pump yourself up. Pump up the tire. Pump yourself up and get going again to get to your destination. There are a finite number of miles between where you are and where you want to be. There's a finite number of steps, a finite number of hours and day and minutes and seconds. So start putting them in the rear view mirror. Start doing them, and each one you move forward with is more behind you. So think of that. Road trips do get tiring after a while. They start out all grand, and you may be like, oh, I'm tired. Do not give up, even when you're just a little bit, are we there yet? You're not there yet, but as I say often to myself, and somebody else yesterday said that it helped them, I'm the closest I've ever been to that destination. I may not be there yet, but I'm closer than I've ever been before. You know? Now, I love this. Penny Myers said she's listening while she's getting ready. Connie is saying, getting ready for work and throwing away makeup I don't use as I go. What a great idea, because your hand is going to reach for the things you do use. And sometimes we buy things and then we find things that we think are better, but then we think we may go back to using the other things. Now, here's an interesting thing, Connie, that you mentioned, so I'll use that myself. I bought a lip stain that I like. The other stuff was okay. I like this one better. So I haven't been using my other ones. I still have them in a little container. They're easily available if I want to use them. I'm going to give myself a deadline. If I haven't used them in a month, then I'll feel better throwing them away. So thank you. I'm going to write that down. Where's my notebook here? Put date on lip stain. Put due date, not deadline, due date. I feel more like a library book than a deadline. It just seems, I don't like the word dead. Put due date on using old lip stuff. Because also some things will start to biodegrade. Yep. So, hey, good morning, Anne. Nice to see you. So here's a story I'd like to share with you that is prompted by seeing Anne in the comments. As we all know, and if you haven't met me, Beth, Destination Decluttering Life Coach, I often assign kind of a category, a layer, and a depth to clutter in one of the three sections: surface, stored, and sentimental. And many people, including myself, struggle sometimes with the sentimental, the items that were owned by somebody who is no longer in your life. Oh, my dad died and part of me wants to keep all his stuff to think I'm keeping him alive. Here's a neat thing. Think of how many times you think of a person who is gone and your thought is not triggered by a piece of their items in your home. Is it a smell that you smell? Is it Old Navy? Not Old Navy. What is that one? Not Old Bay. Old Spice. Is it a song you hear? Is it eating a food that person loved? Is it hearing somebody laugh or seeing something out in the wild that reminds you of that person? Think of how many times you do think of somebody and it's not directly correlated to you looking at an item that you own and you're kind of struggling with. Now, I offer this to you because when Anne was doing a video on her TikTok page, she was pointing to, think it was like an invitation to the Kennedy inauguration or something. I could be wrong. I was more like, oh my God, that totally reminds me of my dad, because underneath it was almost like a bouquet of flowers and feathers. And the feathers, the long striped feathers underneath what she was talking about, totally reminded me of my dad, because my dad used to hunt and he would come home with pheasant. And my mother would save the feathers in like a little vase. So I offer this to you. Remember that there are going to be so many other opportunities to have your memory jogged about somebody you love that will have absolutely nothing to do with anything of theirs that they directly owned that you saved in your house. Okay? And I want to thank Anne for doing that video, for telling her story, but also when I saw that, it made me think of my dad. So thank you. Alrighty. Monk is dreading my pantry. Usable is one of the most gratifying declutters. Okay, sorry. Okay. So, I'm going to try to be positive. I'll feel better once I'm done. Yes, you will. And let me give you some things to write down, to tell yourself as you're doing it before you getting it done. So Monk, Anne is sending you some good vibes, as am I. Oh, I love that. And yeah, the bouquet. I'm glad you noticed. So Monk, this is what I would do. Everybody play along at home. We're doing origami, but I'm not crafty. So here's our origami. You take a piece of paper. I'm not kidding you. This pad of paper reminds me of my dad. So many empty pads of paper I found up in the attic when I was cleaning out. I grabbed this one and brought it home for me. Thanks, Dad. So grab a piece of paper. Fold it in half so you have 2 columns. Okay? There we go. You and your notebooks. Yeah, we all do it. So use them. Open up one of your notebooks and use a page, okay? Over here, I want you to write, and I'm going to do this like, why am I dreading ... the pantry. Okay, do this. 2 columns. In this column, I want you to just take a moment. This is like prep. This is like getting yourself ready for a road trip. You're going in to do this. Just don't jump in. Let's make a plan. Let's see if this helps. Why am I dreading doing the pantry? And give yourself as much time as you need. And notice, you are going to be like a court reporter. You're going to get, do I have one easily handy? No, that's my Mad Libs. You're going to be like a court reporter in a steno book, okay? Notice how steno books. I also got this from my mother's house, because talk about a family with always buys things to write things down but doesn't always use them, okay? Steno book has 2 sides. Pretend you're a court reporter. And just on the left-hand side, you're going to listen to your backseat driver. You're going to listen to your heart. You're going to listen to whatever's going on in your head. And you're not going to judge it. You're just going to report it. You're going to write it down. So everybody play at home. Monk is kind of dreading doing her pantry. Is there some decluttering that you're dreading doing? So write that down. Now, Anne is offering, when she was doing her pantry, I felt really bad throwing away food when I did my pantry. I know it should go realistically. I had to switch that off for an afternoon. So, Anne, I am inferring by what you're saying, is that the food that you did throw away some food, yes, but that the food was either open and spoiled or past its expiration date. I am assuming that you did not throw away anything that was unopened and good, or that wasn't expired, right? And just even for sake of argument speed, yeah, that's what I did. It is good. Why is it? Yeah, food waste and wasted time and love in canned goods. Okay. So notice that sometimes we think we need more things than we can use before they spoil. Notice, and especially people who grew up in the Great Depression, our Great Depression is the COVID epidemic, where it wasn't as easy to get food. So learning from the things that you did that you didn't like the feeling. I had too much food and we did not eat it at a pace. We did not keep pace with it before some of it went bad. It's good that you threw away the food that was expired or bad because you could have gotten sick. So it's a good thing that I threw that away because you also learned from it. So learn from the things that you didn't feel great about the first time and do it differently the second time. It's now made me a little better at using them now. So when you are decluttering your pantry, get curious. How I bought this, why am I not using it? Like I'm thinking of, I already got rid of the can of garbanzo beans. I said, you know what, when we actively want to use them, we will get them. We have some canned goods. We're eating different food right now. I'm going to go check it. That's what I will check though. I will say check canned good expiration dates. Everybody, write that down. Check canned expiration dates. Not the whole pantry, just anything in a can. And here's the thing. If the stuff is going to kind of expire sooner rather than later, rotate for freshness like they do at the grocery store. Use that stuff first. Okay? Don't judge yourself. Don't be embarrassed. Don't beat yourself up. Note what happened with the disengagement of a court reporter. Note what happened and then get curious. And you get curious like George, but I like getting curious like Nancy Drew or maybe Trixie Belden. Deep cut right there. Why do I have so much of that? Oh, it was on sale. Oh, I canned these things, and so we had 87, and we got sick of eating the stewed tomatoes. Get curious why it got that way. Because we started eating different things. We were eating more fresh food because it turned into fresh food season, and we weren't actively opening up the cupboards and going up on that top shelf to get the canned goods. I am glad, as a scholarship mogul, and Blanche Cheryl and Anastasia says, listening to you makes me get motivated. Moving every morning. Good. Body moving. Body moving. I hope it's moving you at a pace that feels good to you, which will be different every day. I hope you're moving forward towards a destination you're excited to get to. I hope you are moving forward towards that destination that you're excited to get to at a pace, at a miles per hour that feels good to you. Remind yourself of that. Align yourself. If you're moving, you could move in any direction. You could move backwards. You could move in circles. You could move to the left, to the right. I want you to be moving forward towards a destination that you're excited to get to. Destination decluttered, for example. All right? So yay for that. But also remind yourself you have a steering wheel. And if you realized, and this is one of the things we do in the decluttering parties, and it was an offer by one of the party members. We do a 20-minute chunk of decluttering. And when I first started doing it, I would just be like, okay, 20 minutes, see you in 20 minutes. Well, at one point, one of the party people veered totally off track. And she said, oh my God, I said I was going to do this, but I veered off and now I'm so far off course. So what I do is I will stop in at about 10 minutes in. I'll be like, hey, I don't want to be like that, hey, are you scrolling lady? But like 10 minutes in, and that's just to check, am I still heading towards what I said I was going to do? Or have I peeled off and taken a detour? And if I've taken not a detour, like an exit, I've taken a different exit, I've gotten kind of off course, asking myself, do I want to stay on this course that I've now chosen, or do I want to get back on the original one? Okay. Kara's Garden, on the way to PT, on the way to PT. I fell in love with you. I have heard from the TikTok that not everybody has a running commentary and a radio in their heads. All I got to say is I feel bad for those people. I love thinking of songs and bursting out into songs. So did my dad. So does my mother. Runs in the family. I don't think it's... There's such a judgment between neurotypical and neurodivergent. Notice that. Typical and that divergent, you're diverting from it. I want to say that the neurotypical people are the ones that are weird and we're the normal ones, huh? But actually, I don't even care. I have fun, you know? All right, Anastasia says, I forget how to declutter until I see you. No, you know how. Okay, so Anastasia, get your paper, okay? Take a note. Write this down. I'll be Perry Mason, you be the court reporter. We're going to play this, okay? Because I don't want you only knowing how to do things when I show up. I want you to be able to have a list of order of operations, a process. I was a process engineer. Now you're hoping to accomplish a lot today, Anastasia. So here, I will give you the instructions to how to accomplish stuff today. So write this down, and everybody take a moment. I will, kind of mark time here, like the Jeopardy thinking music, while everybody gets a piece of paper and a pen. Now, if you're getting busy for work and you're putting on makeup, obviously this is going to be recorded. This is recorded and uploaded to the YouTubes. It will be today. But you know how to declutter, but I'm going to give you a refresher course, okay? Very first thing, physical, reconnect with your physical body. Reconnect your head with the rest of your body. So how do we do that? Scan. So number 1, scan down from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. How are you feeling physically? Now notice, Kara didn't feel well, her back, she's going to physical therapy. I love that. Wherever your scan lights up red, what can you do? Do something, not even what can you do. Do something to feel better wherever it lights up that you're not feeling good. Physical scan from top to toes. Then energetic scan. How are you feeling energetically? What I will say is if you're all riled up and distracted and kind of vague, do something different. Calm down, sit down, focus down, breathe down, all the downs. Write those down specifically. I've written them down before. Slowing down, calming down, quieting down, so that your nervous system, you're feeling not as haywire. Okay? Physical, energetic, then destination. Yeah, take a before picture too, says Monk. But before you even do that, okay? So Monk, did you do that for your pantry? Do that for your pantry. Okay. Okay, I love it. Leslie says, I'm not chiming because I'm busy taking notes. Good stuff. Okay. So destination. And I'm trying to go up here because I want to get specific. Where was it? Doodly doop. Anastasia says, hoping to accomplish a lot today. Get specific. What do you hope to accomplish today? Write down the specific things. Notice how I took some time out. I wrote down, put due date on using old lip stuff. Check canned expiration dates. Take a moment and write down the things that you hope to accomplish today. Not the big grand list, the list just for today. Write those down. As you write them down, here's a fun thing. We did this before a while back. I want you to think of how your actions directly relate to what you want, your destination, and vice versa, that your destination can also inform your actions. So when I say you hope to accomplish a lot today, your brain probably has a list of actions. Okay, so write them down and then notice what destination how are those going to make you feel? So everything you write down, how are those going to make you feel once you've done them? It's going to make you feel good? I hope so. If not, get curious. Okay? So, physical scan, down. Nervous system scan, calming down, good. Then, writing down what's coming up from your brain, write it down. This is what I'd like to get done today. And then the next step is going to be chunking it down. Okay, yeah, you got to find a pen. Okay. Okay. And here's a great thing. Anastasia, I love that you wrote the 3 broken ice makers will go out. Now, you wrote that down in the comments. I want you to write this stuff down on paper for you because the comments will go away. You might forget it. Write these things down more permanently with pen and paper in front of you. All right. As you do that, Kara is updating. The air fryer's gone. Love it. Patio fern is in the driveway, and that's what hurt my back. Yeah. And yay for the check marks. Yeah. Now, Betsy the Digital Boomer says you live in procrastination. Is that the neighborhood? Is that the name of your neighborhood? You want to move? Do you like living there? Do you like your neighbors? If you don't like it, you can always move. Okay? Patio furniture. My patio furniture got delivered yesterday. I'm so excited by it. I love it. User 42116 at 195035 says, I used to make a huge list of to-do. I cut down to weekly instead, and it's made a huge mental difference. So, yeah, notice that's also one of the downs. So we talked about down from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. We talked about calming down your nervous system. We talked about writing down what you want to do just today. But also notice sometimes you have a list that's too big. It will help you get started if you chunk it down. There we go. The 4 scans: body, energy, write down, chunk down. Yeah, the downs: body down, energy, calm down, write down, chunk down. Yeah. Jelly Bee says, politely requesting a patio tour at some point, maybe a live from outside. Definitely. Definitely. When the weather consistently gets nicer and the patio is set up, I have often done YouTube lives and TikTok lives from our patio because I love being outside. It's just there's literally not even a chair to sit out there now because it is an active, I almost said an active war zone. It's an active project zone because people are going to and from the basement. But for sure, Jelly Bee, just remind me of it. You actually, here's a fun thing, Jelly Bee. You might not be able to see a lot of it in the background because I didn't make a tour of it. And I have a tiny patio, tiny, but I love it. The YouTube lives and TikTok lives that were recorded and are on, that are on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel from last summer will show some of the backyard or the patio. But notice, yeah. So, yeah. And Becky is noticing too, too big of a list can be overwhelm me for sure. Here's something I want to offer to you. Write the big list, but don't work from the big list. Think of the big list as a recipe book, as the joy of decluttering, the joy of cooking, right? Look at it as Betty Crocker's list of all the things you could do to declutter, but then pull out a few recipes that you want to make just for that day. Okay? Now, 2 things real quick, because Betsy does not want to live in procrastination. Everything I just mentioned, checking your body, checking your energy, writing down what to do, chunking down, can help you get started. But it may not be all that there is. If there's something, if there is a reason, and a reason usually is words that have created a feeling that then you act upon. You have words in your head that convince you to procrastinate, to not start something sooner rather than later. Okay? So I highly recommend when you're writing stuff down, write down those things. Why do I procrastinate? And these are answers to yourself. If you don't do this, you have a valuable source of info and inspo, and you're missing it if you don't go inside and listen to yourself about why you do the things you do. Doing that thing you do, right? Why do I do that thing I do? Why do I procrastinate? And it may be a very superficial thing. It could be a really deep thing, and it could be everywhere in between. Get curious about why you do it. Do not judge yourself about it. Take the judgment out and open up the curiosity. Be like Nancy Drew. Be patient and look for clues. What is the story? Why do if I think I'm going to start something now, I'll say now, I'll do it later. What happens? Why do I say I'll do it later? Why should I wait later? Why shouldn't I start now? And write down what comes up. No, write down what comes up. All right? So Kat Roby is doing a thing. Check mark. 144 subscriptions sorted or unsubscribed. Woo woo. Now for some inbox clearing. 45 unread. Can she do it in the next 20 minutes? I don't know. We'll check in with Kat Roby. Newsflash, Kat Roby. Da, 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 da. So funny. I saw a Sesame Street video on TikTok and talk about it was like the news flash. Da, 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 da. It was like the little news flash music from Sesame Street. As the kids say, core memory unlocked. All right. So Anastasia is asking the question, why does the stuff pile back up? I will give you the answer. It is a one-word answer. It begins with an H. Habits. Stuff piles back up because you are in the habit of putting things down and not dealing with them until they pile up. You are in the habit of putting things where they don't belong and letting them accumulate there until they start to pile up. Habit, habit, habit. You can change it though. Habits are, you can change it. Trust me. And Gen X Sandy says, oh my word, I need you in my life. You've got to get me into your life. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. I'm in your life right now. Here I am. And I do. So here, and I might as well, I almost said, here I am, rock you like a hurricane. Actually, I just obviously did say that. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. I do TikTok lives, hour-long TikTok lives, almost every day of the week, except for when I don't. And I do hour-long YouTube lives almost every day of the week, except for when I don't. Throughout the month, we do declutter parties. I offer one-on-one coaching, a one-on-one paid coaching program. What else? Free habit tracker, all sorts of stuff. And all of this will be made easier for you to access if you sign up for my free mailing list. I don't send out a lot of emails. I probably should send more, but I don't want to overwhelm your email box. What I do though is every time I get on one of these lives, I remind you that pretty much all of my emails will be a reminder to look at the hidden page on my website that you only have access to if you're on the mailing list. Okay? So Betsy says frequently is the lack of organization and storage. Ooh, organization and storage. They're part of it, but I want to offer to you. Storage comes way later in the game. Storage and organization. Organization, you do some organizing when you are decluttering, but organizing and storing further down the road, later in the recipe, further down the process, deeper into the book. Decluttering, if you're interested in decluttering, and you said you live in procrastination, so I'm inferring that it's procrastinating on decluttering is decision making. Decluttering is decision making. And so practicing deciding what you keep and deciding what you don't want makes it easier for you to organize what's left and store what's left. Okay? Wanderlust Girl says, I watched a YouTube video of yours yesterday and you said mother effer. Oh my God, I spit my drink out. I hope you wiped it out and I hope you didn't choke. Yes, I will occasionally get riled up and turn on the potty mouth. It happens. If that offends your delicate sensibilities, I may not be the right coach for you. But if that's, if you get it, then I'm your man. Now, here's a funny thing. Kara says, drove by a yard sale and a free pile yesterday. Hazards everywhere. Today, I'm going to the dump and making a list. Yes, notice if you are in the habit of stopping at yard sales. Notice if you are a person who does a slow roll past a free pile. I am an expert at both. That when you are trying to declutter, part of your clutter is stuff that has come into your house and hasn't left. You need to change the inputs. Decreasing the amount of stuff that comes in also helps you maintain your home. It can be almost like when you try to stop drinking. It can be a bit of a, tension to be in a situation where people are doing that thing where you used to do this and now you're doing something else. Yay for you for walking on by like Dionne Warwick, right? After a while, it will become habit because you will find that you're happy with what you have. And perhaps what you've noticed, and this made it easier for me. I used to thrift personally, then I used to thrift professionally, and then I went back to personal because I was sick of selling stuff. And I have found that there's so much less good stuff, in my humble opinion, for the stuff that I'm looking for. There's so much less of that in the donation places and the thrift stores. So it was not as fun. It did not give me that oomph it used to, because I would go in and I'd come back empty-handed. So I wasn't getting that positive reinforcement, that dopamine hit, as the ADHDers like to say. Was not getting the dopamine hit from what I was doing. And I realized too, I know more what I want. If I know it, I know other places to get it. Now, sure, would I love to drive past somebody's house? And this used to always be what I would joke that I was looking for. Do I want to drive, I drive past somebody's free pile and there's a Harry Bertoya chair in there, you bet your sweet bippy I'm going to stop and put that in my trunk. If I see something that is like, lights me up like a ceramic Christmas tree, hell's a poppin', I'm going to stop. But I'm not about to go digging for something that I might want, because I feel good about what I have. And I don't look outside for that anymore. Yeah. Gen X Sandy says, oh my goodness, your personality is right in line. Yeah, here's a funny thing. I will share with you, Gen X Sandy. That's one of the reasons I specifically put Gen X in how I describe myself in like the little thing, because I am of a Gen X temperament. I pull from the songs and TV shows that were on when we were kids and growing up. So I often will say something that only somebody who was watching, Channel 56 in 1977 will pick it up, that type of thing. So that's how I call to the people that I want to work with. This is me, this is who I am, this is how I show up. If this appeals to you, stick around. If it doesn't, walk on by, boop, 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 walk on by. Because there's many people out there doing their things that way. This is how I do that thing I do. Okay? Yeah. So, again, I'm touching the mouse to try to move what's on my phone. So funny. Yeah. Yeah, Anastasia goes around the block to see it twice. I mean, I do slow my roll. Do not get me wrong. But I don't stop as much. Yeah. And here we go. Wendy, thank you. I got a haircut a couple of days ago, and this is just my bedhead. I'm very pleased with this cut. I'm going to tell Phil you guys said that, so thank you. Okay, what do we got going on here? Real quick, shallow end of the pool. It's 8:48 a.m. Eastern for those of you who need to take a look at the real world as opposed to in this lovely swimming pool of decluttering we are in now. If you're just tuning in here on this live TikTok on Friday morning, June 6th, my name is Beth. I'm a Gen X decluttering life coach, but you can just tell Gen X by looking at the wrinkles on my face. Destination Decluttered is what I call my coaching. I call it that because I like to frame things to be like, what would I do if I was on a road trip? My life is a road trip. If I was on the true road, what would I be doing here? And I can teach you that whole kind of method process and stuff. In about 11 minutes, I'm going to change this channel and I'm going to go on to the YouTube channel. So I will get that prepped right now. So Destination Decluttered on YouTube. That is where we do YouTube lives, and that's where all of the recordings from my TikTok lives and YouTube lives for over 2 years are there in a library, free for you to look at and listen to. Okay? Wendy says I work from home and put you on my phone while I'm working. Awesome. So Wendy, you have over 725 videos that you can just listen to because the background is, for the most part, the same on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. So you can pop one in, and I created playlists. I have, notice, 750 sounds like a lot. I have chunked them down. June 2025, YouTube and TikTok live recordings, May, April, March. So there's a chunk. You can start from the very beginning. You can start from the most recent. You can poke around, whichever ones you want. So there is it's limited technically, but think about that. That's probably 7. So check this out. Check this math. Let's say, I know not all of the videos on the YouTube channel are hour long, but just for the sake of math, think about this. 365 days a year times 2 is like 740 something. If each one of my videos is an hour long and you listen to just one of them for free a day, that is 2 years worth of unique created content without repeats that you could listen to. You could show up and watch a new, like a recorded episode every day for an hour for 2 years to help you declutter, you know? So I'm just offering. Yeah, and Leslie says parties are the best, lives are next, but the videos give Beth on demand. Yeah, because I am not on all the time. It is important for me in my real life and also my mental health to not be on the socials all the time. So I feel good about the stuff that I give you. It's not live, but it's recorded. And the other thing, Leslie, I will say this too. She says parties are the best and lives that's only because you haven't done one-on-one coaching yet. I mean, you have, because this is pretty much like one-on-one coaching, but one-on-one coaching gets a lot deeper. That's my favorite. That is. But I love all of these. That's why I do them. Yeah. Oh, funny. Some of the oldest videos are 2 hours. See, I didn't know that. You know? All right, so Wendy, I hardly use YouTube. I guess it's time to learn. Well, here, learn along with me. So I don't know how everybody accesses YouTube from here, but I want to give you a lesson. On your phone, it's usually like an app. On your computer, it's youtube.com. Okay. So go to youtube.com and just search for Destination Decluttered. It will come up with my page. When you get there, I'm there already. I'm going to set up a live for 8 minutes from now. Here, let me do this. All right. Today is 6/2025. It's going to be the 9 a.m. Eastern YouTube live exclamation point. I'm going to get all this ready. And the only reason I'm doing this while you guys are still here, because there was one time where I was on a TikTok live and I was going to jump off and do this. And then there was a technical difficulty with YouTube, and then I wasn't able to do it. So I always like to make sure while you're still here that I've created the clear kind of channel for that. All right, it looks good. So in about, I don't know, 6 minutes or so, we're going to and it's just like, really, you guys, it's just like changing the channel on your TV. It's going to be a different view because it's my computer, which is right there. It's going to be horizontal. It's the exact same stuff we talk about. Yeah, 700 hours is almost 30 days. Yeah. And so there is so much info out there. There is a library's worth of specific info just about decluttering and your nervous system and all the stuff. And it's exactly like, I suddenly don't get formal and lecture you and stuff like that. Okay. Oops, I did something here. Let me cancel. That's okay. Move that away. Okay. I love it, Anne. Thank you for walking Wendy through the steps. Okay. And yeah, you just subscribed. So learning something new is part of this whole thing. If you don't know how to do something and you think that learning it would help you have a life you want more than the one you do now, declutter-wise and otherwise, I help teach you stuff. And I mean, it's so funny because back in high school, I remember once one of my English teachers was like, "You'd make a great teacher." And I'm like, "Oh, screw that. I do not want to be a teacher. I'm not." But now I'm teaching stuff. But I didn't want to be a teacher because I would have been, kind of very rigidly stuck in a box. I have always lived outside the box. I am the square peg, square peg, square, square peg. And so I have always known about myself that I don't fit in. And I used to think that was bad, and now I freaking love it. I know too, when I try to cram myself into a structure that's too rigid, I can already feel at a certain point my resistance, and I'm like, no, this is not going to work. So don't get me wrong though, I'm not all over the place. I am organized as all get out. I can find things in a hot minute. You can trust me to not be all spazzing around. However, I love the balance, the yin-yang of structure and flexibility, a flexible structure. That's how I live my life, and it's working out for me. And so I offer to you ideas of where you can be you can put some structure in, but be flexible with it. It's like writing down the stuff you want to get done in the day is structure, being flexible with yourself if you didn't get all of it done, getting curious about why you didn't do it, and learning from it. Yeah. There we go. Anastasia is noticing what works for her. That's why I drive Uber, no rigid time schedule. Yeah, notice the difference between taking a bus and you need to be at a certain place at a certain time versus calling a cab or an Uber. They show up when you're ready. Now, we do a little bit of both. I show up and I schedule the TikTok lives and the YouTube lives when it works for my schedule, around my one-on-one clients, around what's going on with my life. But I also let you know when I'm going to be there. I do. That's why when you sign up for the mailing list at destinationdecluttered.com, Wendy, that might be a good thing too. There is a schedule right there. There is a schedule right there, and I just opened it up. I just updated it. It's actually funny because you can see the stuff I updated this morning is I forgot to capitalize the days of the week. But the TikTok Live, Declutter Party, YouTube Live schedule is scheduled up until next Thursday, the 12th. Now, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of next week, I will be off the digital grid. That's what I call it. I am going up. My niece is graduating from college. I'm going to see my family, and that's up in New England. And so my husband and I are going to go up there a day before, have a little time to ourselves, and it takes about 7 or 8 hours to drive home. So I will not be there with you live, but I'm always with you in your heart. What are some words I say that you can carry along with you and use when I'm not there? If you don't know, as I said, there's over 725 videos that you can tune into and watch on demand when it works for you. Okay? So notice the difference in the balance between rigidity and flexibility. And how about this? For those of you who are going to shift over to change the channel from one channel to the next for the same show, let's really embrace there we go, Kat Roby, 7 left for email later today. Rock on. What was the number? Kat, what was the number that you started with? Because you're at 7 now, but at the beginning of the YouTube live or the TikTok live, you started with like 344 or something like that. 45. Okay, awesome. That's like, what is it? 7 times 5? Is that 35? 45? Yeah, something like that. Math. Awesome. What a great percentage you got done. Okay. So yay for you. Congratulations for what you did do. Did you get done all the way? No, that's okay. It is okay to not get everything done by a certain time. You got more done than when you started. There we go. 145 to 0 in subscriptions. I love that. Decluttering her digital life. And that's something you can do while you're sitting in bed. When we turn over to the YouTube channel, Destination Decluttered at YouTube, in about a minute or so, what I like to remind you of is embracing the uniqueness of the live. Okay? What do I mean by that? It's a two-way street. Notice how I talked to Kat Roby right there. She was able to put something in the comments. There's a live interaction. You don't get that with a recording. So as we shift channels, ask yourself, what could I ask Beth? What would help me move forward? How can I use that live accountability, that live companionship, that live support? How can I use that to help me move forward in the direction that I want to go to at a pace that feels good to me? How can I use that to help me? Because the only reason I show up to do these things is to help you. Okay? But think about that. It's stuff that you can't do when they are recordings because the recording is recorded. But let's embrace the live, okay? So I'm going to sign off right now. So a couple of things to wind up, especially if there are people who are just tuning in at the last minute. My name is Beth. I'm a Gen X decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Here on TikTok, on YouTube, and most importantly on the internet at destinationdecluttered.com. I say most importantly because that's where the info for all of this stuff is. And it's where you can sign up for my free mailing list so you know when I show up live. You don't just have to, whatever. You don't just, run into me by accident. If you like what's happening, you want to show up more, there's a schedule. You have access to the schedule. You just need to sign up for my free mailing list, okay? Now, here we go. And as Kat Roby says, to the YouTube, okay? This was wicked fun. Tomorrow we've got a declutter party. Sunday we've got some TikTok lives and stuff like that there. This whole schedule is on the secret page just for people on the mailing list. Sign up for the mailing list, destinationdeclutter.com, and I'll catch you on the other channel, okay? Bye.